What's up,
And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentleman of Crypto episode 1000. What episode is? I just had it up. 1303. Today is Monday, March 3rd, 2025, and I'm King here to bridge the gap every day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. ish. And today is a ish day. I had a debate earlier, which I'll talk about in a moment. But first and foremost, top stories. Oh my goodness, folks, this has been an interesting weekend. Top stories of the day. President Trump says reserve plan faces. President Trump says crypto reserve to include Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and Cardano. Trump's crypto reserve plan faces Congress vote may limit rally. Trump to host first White House crypto summit on March 7th. Crypto ATM network shrinks as U.S. loses 1,200 machines in a day. U.S. judge tosses SEC fraud suit against Hex founder Richard Hart. Bybit hacker launders 605 million ETH, over 50% of stolen funds. BlackRock adds Bitcoin ETF to $150 billion model portfolio product. And Chicago Mercantile Exchange Group to launch Solana futures on March 17th. But first and foremost, of course, let's go ahead and take a quick look at these prices, right? Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the prices. Initially, I thought this Monday was going to be a bloody Monday. I was going to have to tell you all to not worry and to hold and all that good news. But it looks like the White House did it for us over the weekend. They said, no fear. We're going to keep pumping this thing till we can't pump it no more. That's right. Bitcoin's coming in back at 90,000 and went to, I think, as low as 77,000, 78,000 last week, back to 90,527. Up 6.26 on the 24-hour clock. Ethereum's at $2,300, up 4.37. XRP $2.60, up 16%, 16.58%. Number 5, BNB at $592, down 1.76%. Again, these are on our 24-hour clocks. For those who were around yesterday on Sunday after the announcement, you saw a lot of these tokens pump up to 50 to 60%. Some of them, Solana, $157, up 12%. Number 8, Cardano, which got one of the biggest pumps at 95 cents now, but it's up 47% on the 24-hour clock. I saw this yesterday. It got up to about 71%. Cardano pumped about 71% yesterday. So for those who are in Cardano, you made a lot of capital yesterday. Dogecoin at 21 cents, up 6.34%. I can see them dipping down, and eventually they'll actually leave the top 10, I believe, since they weren't included into this basket of reserve assets. And then Tron at number 10 at 24%, up 3% as well. Fear and Greed index is actually still pretty low. It almost doubled from when it was last at, but it's still low at 39. Bitcoin dominance is at a 60.17, and Ethereum dominance, I told you, it's continued to slip. Even after all that, Ethereum dominance is at a 9.34%. People, the party's over for Ethereum. Bang, bang. Shots fired. It's over. AB, Cointelegraph reported this. I didn't see it. Cointelegraph did report, though, that Bitcoin dominance went to 50% or something. I didn't see that. Could have happened, but I didn't see it. But they did report on that. I would assume maybe it went to like 59%. I think maybe because it's at 60.17 now. So maybe it went to 59% and they made a story out of it because we know how Cointelegraph does. In addition to that, they're making stories a few like every story on Cointelegraph this weekend was like, why is the price of Cardano up? Why is the price of Solana up? Why is the price of Ripple up? And it's like, bro, everyone saw the news about the president. Okay, we all know why these prices are up right now. We get it. You need to make content, Cointelegraph. We get it. Stop with the BS lazy articles, though. All right, really quick. This is a long show today. I got a couple announcements. So let me get some quick shout outs and let's get it rolling. Jake Fever, Illmatic, Crypto, Dearbit, Crypto City, T, Janine Hayes, Birdtown Music Group, Junior Maley, Chloe Dior, Larry Ann, Al Holloway, Dion Smith. Jake said 96K last Sunday, 95K this Sunday. If you went on a week vacation, you want to know what went down in Bitcoin this week. Exactly. Enzo Carter, Crypt X. Good morning, everyone. So first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the Socrates team. So Socrates is an app I was just on today. This is a debate app. We are actually going to probably work together in the future because I already have some stuff planned on this channel as far as debates go. And I see they actually have an app to do it. So it was pretty cool to see the app work or whatever. Essentially, it works almost like as a, what's the other app called that a lot of people use? It's another talking app. I got it on my phone right now. Clubhouse. It's similar to Clubhouse, except basically you can pick sides and people debate. You can choose on what side you want to be on. You can leave comments and things of the sort. Today's debate was based off of the Bybit hack. It was essentially self-custody versus centralization. They couldn't find anyone to do the centralization side of the debate. So they asked slash hired me to do the centralization side. I did do it. So if you hear any sound bites or anything recent come out from me speaking about centralization, no, it was for the debate. I am always pro self custody. I'd rather have self custody than anything else. However, I'm glad I did do the centralization debate today, and which is one of the reasons why I decided to do it. Because again, one of my degrees is criminology. I was on a debate team in high school and all this stuff. I've actually done this. So one thing's about debating and even having a position. Lawyers know this as well. You have to know the counter position too. You got to know what they're going to come at you with and how they're going to come at you. So I took it as like a personal exercise to say, all right, like let me look at the benefits of centralization. And I'll actually say this. So the debate, of course, the guy won by a landslide. I think we started a debate before we both spoke a word. I had like 32% of the audience, and he had about 68%. I think it was about 2,800 people on today. So almost 3,000 people on. And by the end of the debate, I had about 34 to 35%, and his dropped to like 65. So at least it shows I'm a good debater. But of course, everyone who's into crypto already knows self custody is the way to go. But some of the things I was arguing, which I can see being the reason why these exchanges are blowing up, is that people truly don't care about the technology. They don't care about self custody. They don't care about anything else outside of making another buck. And I think that's why we're seeing centralized exchanges and things take over because of the ease of use. They don't have to learn anything else. And they just say, hey, I can leave it here and they'll do all the work for us. Now, we're seeing these hacks happen over and over again. So clearly, that's not the smartest thing to do. But again, it's even incredible to hear, I'm on a new platform. There's new people who never heard of me, don't even know me. And I'm arguing a point of centralization, which, of course, those who know me know I don't agree with, but you still have people agreeing with it. And one of the last points I made on that debate was, hey, we haven't even seen these exchanges and institutions and projects go crazy with commercials and just shoving this stuff down your throat 24/7. So if a random person can do it and get a few percentage of folks to switch sides, I can only imagine what's going to happen once exchanges really start rolling out commercials and marketing budgets and everything else. Like it's going to be super scary. So unfortunately, it may be the future, whether we like it or not. Only diehard crypto folks might stay on the self custody train. But regardless, if you're interested, feel free to download that Socrates app. I did not do my due diligence on the app. I put mine on a burner phone. So you need to do diligence about privacy, terms of service, what they can look at on your phone. I don't know all that stuff. I don't even want to pretend like I know. So do the due diligence, but it is a fun app. It was a fun debate. I'll be honest with both of those accounts. It was a fun app, fun debate. And they seem to have already put a lot of capital behind it and they're trying to put more. So shout out to Socrates app. Thanks for having me today. Even though I didn't want to debate on the centralized side, it still was fun. It's cool to see the other side of how people think. So, regardless, it's another base hit toward Bitcoin for me. So it was a good time. All right. Without that, let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to try to keep these shows this week at as much as 30-ish minutes as I can. Top story of the day: President Trump says crypto reserve to include Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Ripple, and Cardano. And I want to make a clear announcement. I put this in the Discord yesterday. I want to be clear. This is officially the beginning of the bubble. The bubble's here, people. Like it's forming. The bubble's forming. The real question is, will it pop before or after Trump leaves? Right? Can we blow a bubble up for 4 years straight, or is it going to be a year and a half bubble of aggressiveness and then it pops? I am telling you now, and I want you to be in the clear about it. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody. The bubble is forming and it will pop 2 to 6 years. We got 2 to 6 years before we see the craziest bubble pop in the history of mankind. Now, a positive of this is once it does pop, I think after it, we'll get the Google of crypto companies. That is also coming right now. It's not here and it won't be this phase. I'm telling you now. It's not here. It will not be this phase, with the exception of Bitcoin. Outside of Bitcoin, I think with one of these altcoin projects, we'll finally get the Google of it. But I don't think it's going to happen until the market pops. Second thing is, why do I think the market is going to pop? Because you're talking about making a strategic reserve with assets that don't even have a project yet, like Cardano. I'm just cut and dry. They don't have anything to offer a value to be an asset in a reserve. A. B. I know why they did the reserve, and I don't blame them. I blame their incompetence, but I don't blame them on that either, because how do you know you're incompetent, right? Everybody thinks they're the smartest people in the room. And I'll be getting into that in a second with Bo and Crypto Czar David Sachs. Clearly, they don't know what they're doing either. And the reason why is this uh reserve basket of reserve, this crypto reserve that they're promoting and want to happen, is made up of the top 10 tokens. It's literally, they literally look at the top 10 all right, where are our favorites? All right, everyone loves Ethereum last few years. Solana is a new token, folks. How long has Solana been around? Let me go, like 3 years, maybe 4 years. Hold on. Solana, what is it? Inception's the word. Inception. Let me check it out real quick. Solana was launched in March of 2020. All right, so essentially 5 years right now. To be a reserve asset? Really? 5 years to be a reserve asset? Crazy. Cardano, no product. Reserve asset, Ripple. Already told you, we here for ourselves and for the banks and institutions. Reserve asset, absolute madness. And the reason why Ripple doesn't make sense either, while they, yes, they do bring capital in, they are a working product and project, it doesn't make sense because the goal of them is to sell Ripple to make money. That is what Ripple's, they're a business. They want to make money. They don't want to change the blah blah. They want to make money. All right. They've already shown you that when their own founders sold it. People aren't selling their Bitcoin. They hate when they sell their Bitcoin. Okay. So once again, you have a basket of cryptocurrencies that are based around the top 10, which I get. But those who've been in this space know, hey, this is probably the first time we've seen in a very long, probably in the history of Bitcoin and crypto, where the top 10 has remained the same for 6 to 8 months. So essentially, you're saying, yeah, we're going to take these top 10 tokens, we're going to put them in the crypto reserve. But I'm here to tell you, at this time, it's buying the bed. Honestly, Cardano was about to die. Cardano was it was about to die. The United States just brought it back to life. So yes, I am saying this doesn't make sense. It is the start of the bubble. I get it. It's going to happen. Bags are going to get pumped. Derivatives are going to be created. Moves are going to be made. But I am telling you, you are now officially inflating a market of products that have little or no value, and you're adding value to them, and then you're about to pump it on steroids to really go crazy. This is officially the start of the bubble. So again, get as much as you can and get ready to get the hell out uh once you make enough profit and put back in what you're okay to lose, because this is the start of the bubble. The president's language surrounding a Bitcoin strategic reserve has shifted dramatically since his Bitcoin 2024 keynote address. And shout out to all the crypto heads. Listen, you all claim uh Trump is this dictator and so powerful. It's one or two things happening. He really, him and his family either knows that much about Bitcoin and crypto, and they're really banking their life on it too. Like, no, 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 we are meme coin, blah, blah, blah. We want crypto. Or they really, he's really not in charge like that. And there are crypto people in the background, like, oh boy, I always say crypto people. There's the BlackRocks in the background, like, boy, you're gonna do this crypto reserve, all right, whether you like it or not. So it's one or the other. He either really is in charge, he's running it, or what I'm kind of start saying is he really ain't in charge like that, and someone else is push. Why would you push, like, oh man, they shouldn't push all these assets. But like I said, the door is open. Get ready for Dog What If to be in the reserve. Get ready for Pepe to be in the reserve. Get ready for Dogecoin, Farts Coin, Stripper Coin, everything. Because again, if I'm another project, I want a written response from the United States regulatory agencies of why Cardano, without a product, can be in the Bitcoin reserve or the crypto reserve of the United States, but my project Fart Stripper Coin can't. I want to know exactly why. Is it a money thing? We can get some money into Fart Stripper Coin. Who doesn't fart? Who doesn't like strippers? We can get the market cap. Is that what it is? But seriously, beyond a slippery slope, bubble is forming. Bubble is forming. Okay. Only way to stop this bubble, and what also may stop the pump, which I think slowed it down already, was people waking up and realizing, hey, yes, the president does want this crypto reserve, but Congress has to say yes to it. I think a lot of people weren't realizing that. They saw the headline yesterday, they saw the news, and they were already like, the crypto reserve is here. It starts Monday. Of course, these are all the same people who only vote in national elections and don't understand the power of state and local. Bang, bang, shots fired, because those are only ones that are super smart enough to realize that Congress needs to be involved, right? Like, seriously, I'm being facetious. I'm saying they're super smart. People really woke up today thinking the crypto reserve would be here. Like, these are the same people who voted. I'm going to keep disrespecting these type of people. It makes no sense to me. You're so smart, right? People really thought the crypto reserve was coming this week. Cardano pumped 70%. You gotta love a speculative market. Listen, Congress still has to say yay or nay to this. Now, I will say Congress, of course, is mostly Republicans. They're mostly backing Trump on everything he does. I think they're into crypto as well, as far as trying to hide and divide their money. So I can see this being pushed through. However, they still have to vote on it. So the crypto market surged at the Trump's reserve announcement, but analysts warn the rally may be temporary as regulatory hurdles remain. Cryptocurrency market surged following his announcement. However, the working group on digital assets has been directed to include three altcoins, of course, Ripple, Solana, Cardano, and the U.S. Crypto Reserve. Cointelegraph reported. This is all on Truth Social. You all said we might be getting these announcements on Truth Social. I need to add Truth Social. It looks like, again, price of Bitcoin was slipping towards 78,000. It pumped up to 90,000 after this 7.7 rally. I saw Cardano go like 70%. Everything is pumping off of it. But again, this has to go through Congress for one. For two, on the political side, I wouldn't count this as like, I think at this point things will go through, but also don't get it confused. Two things that could be at work to here. For one is the politics of it, which is Trump just needing that boost. And like a lot of people hate him right now, right? A lot of people don't like him right now. A lot of people do. And it's kind of crazy. I just want to point out for everyone who doesn't like him, you need to stop saying you hate Trump as much as you need to start saying you hate half the country. Let's be clear about that. Stop saying you hate Trump and start being honest with yourself and saying, I hate half the humans in this country. Maybe we can get some things done there. Because all he is a representative of a lot of people who voted for him, right? I say all this to say that it could be a political move by him just saying we're going to do this crypto reserve to get people to like him right now, to get that support after everything that has happened with Zelensky this weekend. If you missed it, the Ukraine president was read his rights by Trump and JD Vance. It looked like some people just talking to a school child, the principal talking to a school child. But after that, the world kind of was looking at the US a little sideways. There's a lot of action and other things going on. Not only that, when have you seen political moves being made on Saturday nights and Sunday? I always say Wednesday and Friday. They rarely work on the weekend, right? So I think from a political standpoint, after what just happened with Zelensky and everything else that's going on, approval ratings and so on and so forth, hey, we need a layup right now. We need a layup, an easy one right now. Shit, tell them we're gonna do the crypto reserve. We thinking about it anyway. Boom, right back in good graces. So I do think it could be a little bit of a political move saying, hey, I need to get back in good graces. Who's my base? Who helped me get to the White House? Those crypto kids did. Them people in crypto got that paper now, right? Let's throw them a bone. So I'm saying that to say this may not even happen in his tenure. I do think it will, but there's a possibility it won't, and Congress could stall it out at least for another year or two, 6 months at the very least. And he's just saying that to promote his, get his political what's the word? The constituents back on his side, essentially. That's the one thing. The second thing what could be going on, and this is again to remind people, this is the Congress voting on this crypto batch of crypto reserve assets and things of the such. The second thing that could be going on is that he actually, I'm losing. I've seen some of these what's called pop up in the chat. I'm seeing some things pop up in the chat. I liked him a little bit better after that Zelensky stuff. Yeah, I did too, actually. He's checked his whole ass. I'm losing it. It's the first reason. First reason is political. And the second reason, which is slipping my mind right now, which I'll probably come back to. Oh man, I slip in my mind right now. You guys are so lucky. I was about to go on a roll. But the bottom line is this: I think there's plays at mine. There isn't just, hey, I want this crypto reserve out of the good graces. I'm telling you this on a Sunday morning because everything is right in the world. I think it was more like a Saturday night, Sunday morning meeting where it was like, yo, we need to do something. And this is why we talked about these crypto assets. I'll probably come back to this story because there's one more point I'm missing. There was two major points I just want to make. I'm missing one. So I'll probably come back. But with this news as well, Trump is to host the first White House crypto summit on March 7th. Again, to me, this is just looking like a thank you of all my supporters, right? He's already doing the crypto reserve. Now he's doing a crypto summit on March 7th. It looks like he'll host the first White House crypto summit on March 7th, bringing together what they call industry leaders to discuss regulation, stablecoins, and Bitcoin reserve legislation. Here's my problem with this. Okay, the attendees will include prominent founders, CEOs, investors, basically everyone who's the big men and women in the industry, right? They just released this on February 28th, and this happens on March 7th. To me, that means they already had the market participants they wanted coming. They've already sent the invites. And this is more just, as it says, an immediate release, a news release, a press release to let us know this is happening. The problem with that is that that is how they're going to try to shape this entire market, right? They're not looking for retail investors. They don't care what the mom and pop think. They don't care what the peer-to-peer person thinks what this entire market was created for. All they care about now are the billionaires. What do the big companies, what do the big fellas, what do the big everything in this space think, and we're going to do what you say. So this is beyond a slippery slope because, of course, every big company and exchange is going to say centralized exchanges, more regulation, more barriers to entry, more barriers so we can have less competition. Like these are going to be the things they're going to lean on, right? Yes, we want a Bitcoin or crypto reserve, but we won't only want our assets in there. Uh, Once again, this is what's going to cause the bubble. You doing this New York agreement, essentially the same thing as the New York agreement back in 2016, except now they have the White House involved. This is what the crypto industry, including Coinbase and Brian Armstrong and the likes of these folks, they've been wanting to do this since 2016. That's fork Bitcoin. They tried to do it. It didn't work with that New York agreement in the hotel room. These were all the same market participants. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, in 2016, 2017, they tried to fork Bitcoin. Essentially, they wanted to make a corporate Bitcoin, and that way they control it, right? They can say we can print more, we can print less, same way we do with money. No one fell for it, right? But now people might actually fall for it. They're inviting the same people who are in that room back in 2016, 2017 to change the entire crypto market, all 15 to 20 businesses, right? They're inviting those same 15 to 20 businesses to the White House. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to say, hey, President Trump, we've already actually tried to do what you're thinking, but now we got your support. Let's make it happen. Once again, the crypto bubble is forming. Uh, you're having crypto summits with only select participants who don't really care about the crypto market as much as they care about making money. It is what it is. Let's see how this thing shakes out. Next up, crypto ATM shrinks as US loses 1,200 machines in a day or in days. The US lost 1,233 crypto ATMs in early March, just days after a senator proposed a bill to curb fraud in the sector. Now, this is weird to me because it was only a proposal, so I'm not sure what exactly happened, but it looks like more than 1,200 crypto ATMs mysteriously went offline in the US during the first weekend of March, just days after a senator introduced the Crypto ATM Fraud Prevention Act to stop crypto ATM fraud. On February 25th, Illinois Senator Dick Durbin proposed legislation to target fraud at crypto ATMs in the US, citing a recent incident involving one of his constituents. That's right. One of my constituents had a problem, so all the United States must fall under my regulation. You got to love it, right? This proposal came the same month that 860 new crypto ATMs were installed in the US. Still, in the first 3 days of March, the global Bitcoin ATM network saw a net decline of 1,100 machines, with the US accounting for 1,233 of those losses. A net decline of 1,100 machines, with the US accounting for more of that. I don't understand how that works. My math might be not mathing, but I don't know. I feel like the article may have been written wrong. So it lists all the different countries, but the bottom line is this: you're seeing how the legislation could shape crypto companies and innovators in the space. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with those ATMs, but again, this is why when you look at the SEC trying to stop or slow down a project and then coming back years later saying, well, we're sorry we made a mistake or we're letting you go, it's like, well, hold on, the damage has been done already. So not sure those who use crypto ATMs, it looks like the regulatory space is coming toward it. But like I said, if I was an ATM operator, I wouldn't be worried. I would double the amount I'm putting out there, open up the limits, and what's going to be was going to be. People, it's the Wild West. It's the Wild West. That's one of the points I was going to make on the earlier article with the Trump summit, or excuse me, on the Congress vote. But it'll come back to me. It was a good point. It's going to come back to me. What else is going on? Bybit hacker launders 605 million Ethereum, over 50% of stolen funds. Why am I covering this? Right? We've already talked about this Bybit hack. We know what's going on. We've seen the hacks. I'm actually covering this because I'm curious about how and who they're using to do it, right? So the controversy surrounding THORChain is growing as North Korean attackers have laundered over 54% of the stolen Bybit funds within a week since the hack on the exchange. It looks like the exploiter, let's see, is using Look On Chain, the crypto intelligence platform, wrote in the February 28th X post. So far, Bybit hacker has laundered 270K Ethereum, 605 million, 54% of stolen funds, and still holds 229,395 ETH as well. And it looks like they're doing it through THORChain. So if you've been in Discord, I think it was actually last year I mentioned THORChain. I haven't been on it in a while. I believe you could use leverage on them, and one of them could, and it was like a crazy amount if I remember correctly. But the reason why I'm covering this is because, love it or hate it, these applications work, right? These DeFi platforms or exchanges, whatever else, some of these things work. And we're always looking for ways to say, hey, if Coinbase decides they don't want to allow you to sell Bitcoin and trade, or whoever else, right? Robinhood doesn't let you do it, or Cash App, like, where can you go? Go to the place the criminals are going, especially if you aren't doing anything criminal, right? You're just trying to move your capital. You're not doing anything wrong. Well, I'll tell you what, if you can launder funds through it while everyone watches, while the world watches, then the platform and it works. The project works. So shout out the THORChain. I'm not shouting out these hackers. I'm not shouting out what's going on, but I am shouting out THORChain for it to continue to work, for the protocol to work when all this is going on and people are trying to, what do they call it? They're trying to I don't know, was it white was it white out white what is it called when you restrict someone or whatever? I can't even think the word right now. But they're trying to whiteball these folks or whatever. They're trying to whiteball these different companies saying, hey, you can't be on these exchanges. We're going to whiteball these addresses. Make sure you don't interact with these addresses and things of the sort. So if that's happening, then it works. If that's happening and they're still able to make funds, swap funds, the volume is rising. As you see here, it says volume rose past $1 billion on it, then the protocol works. So you can see here, THORChain dev quits amid controversy surrounding Bybit's hacked funds. Some industry watchers criticize THORChain's privacy-preserving features for enabling the movement of illicit funds by North Korean agents. After a vote to block North Korean hacker-linked transactions was reverted to the protocol, one of the leading THORChain developers announced his exit. Effective immediately, I will no longer be contributing to THORChain, the cross-chain swap protocol's core developer, only known as Pluto, wrote in the February 27 post. They said they remain available as long as I am needed and to ensure an orderly handoff of my responsibilities. Boo! I boo you. I boo you. I boo you. And here's why. I get it. No one wants to see negative stuff happens in this space. We don't want to see hackers get. I know I don't want to see a hacker or scammer get away. However, that is beyond a slippery slope. That's how we got here to begin with, right? Who can have a bank loan? Who can't have a bank loan? Who can use a bank, right? Who can even have a bank account? Which people are we going to interact with trade, right? We're seeing countries get sanctioned all because of an argument between two world leaders, have nothing to do with the population of those countries, but two world leaders decide they don't like each other. You did something to my dad when he was the president. I'm looking at you, Bush Jr. And all of a sudden we can't even do business or trade with the entire region of the world with millions of people we can't interact with, all because one other human we've never met is telling us we can't. Let's be clear about how this all works. So when I'm looking at it from that way, it is a slippery slope. No, what is this THORChain? What does Pluto want? Pluto, what people do you want to interact with THORChain? You see how that works? That quick. I'm quitting because I don't want this to be open and available to everyone because North Korean hackers are using it. Well, that's fine, Pluto. You tell us who's allowed to use the platform. Super slippery slope, folks. Like, that's why we have Bitcoin right now. That is why the proliferation of this is here and is getting so much bigger, because people are tired of being told who they can and can't trade with, interact with, or do anything else with off the strength of you have more money than me or you control my money, right? That is a dictatorship no matter how you cut it. It's psychotic no matter how you cut it, and it's crazy. So again, Pluto, good riddance to you. You're not the only developer, and thank God for AI now, because to be honest, a 15-year-old can probably do as much as Pluto with the source code that they have already. So great. Glad you did it, Pluto, but you won't be missed. I'm not missing anyone who's adding these barriers to entry, who are adding layers. You think you're doing a good thing. I get it. You think, but you're not. If you want to do a good thing, don't say we're not going to use THORChain or THORChain's the problem. No, freaking Bybit was the problem. Bybit's the one who got hacked. You guys wanted a honeypot, a centralized reserve. We were just talking about that today. The guy who I was arguing against in a debate was making excellent points as far as it being a honeypot. You all wanted the honeypot. So don't get mad now that the honeypot worked as a honeypot and people are using the protocols and executing contracts as they're made to be executed. All of a sudden, he's like, oh man, somebody I didn't expect to execute this contract and use our protocol are using it. I should quit and stop. Right, right. Yeah, quit. Be a quitter then. That really helps everyone. Right? Not going to the source of the problem. To me, that sounds like Bitcoin and crypto is the problem, not the people using it. So again, good riddance to you, Pluto. Don't really care. And I see why you are who you are anyway. Sitting behind a computer typing away all day. Shout out to my nerds out there. Y'all know I'm nerd deep down inside too. I'll be coding in the dark. All right, what we got? BlackRock says they're going to add Bitcoin ETF to $150 billion model portfolio product. Told you. So essentially, this is oh, that was the second point I was going to make. I knew it was going to come back. This is why I got my story spaced out the way I do. I knew. Let me stop talking and get the point out before I forget again. All right, second point was this. I forgot that. I knew I was about to forget it. BlackRock adds Bitcoin ETF to $150 billion model portfolio product. So here's the thing. The second point I was going to add with the whole Trump thing, I said the first thing was political. The second thing was to save the market. Folks, Bitcoin just slipped to 78,000, right? Still a high. I'm happy, but a lot of people weren't. It slipped to 78,000. Let me close this. It slipped to 78,000. And if you hadn't noticed, BlackRock and all these ETFs, they were running out of squeeze. They're running out of juice. You can only, that's what I'm saying. It was only like I would say 4 or 6 weeks. They kept selling and they're moving the portfolio, right? You see this big headline, the most ETF deposits in this week. Then you see the next headline a few weeks later, the biggest ETF withdrawals. I told you they were doing this revolving door. They were playing these exchanges and so on and so forth. There's only so long you can do that before it wears off and the market starts to realize, like, yo, this is inflated. This is inflated volume. I think the market started realizing that and you were seeing it wear off. So that was the second thing. Either Trump was making this announcement for a crypto reserve for a political reason, or he was trying to save the market. He got that phone call from some other crypto heads. Hey, we don't know what else you got in store, but brother, if this thing goes to 70, it's going to 60 and it's going to 50. Those are the calls I think happened this weekend. Hey, if this thing is at 78, you saw how quick it just went to 78, right? It was just at 108,000 and we were just at 78,000. You saw how quick that happened. This isn't me talking. You know, I know better. This is the folks on the line with President and Bo and David Sachs, all the people who aren't experts. These are the crypto folks on the phone with them. These are the Brian Armstrongs on the phone with him. You need to do something. And that's when he woke up Sunday morning. I was like, I got the thing. I'm going to save the market. So that was that second point I wanted to make. And I think that's an important point because it's showing that the market is still slightly inflated right now. If it wasn't for this announcement of a crypto reserve, we're coming in today at 76,000, folks. I hope you realize that. And if we get a week of sideways movement at 76,000, and these ETFs can only keep switching to ruin so much. So I don't know. It's something I don't understand or know what's going on in the background, which makes sense. I didn't go to school to be on Wall Street or anything like that. I'm not understanding how everything works or all their procedures work. But I'm telling you for a fact, there is a reason outside of just making money off the exchange. There's a reason why they keep doing this revolving door of swapping portfolios. I'm not exactly sure yet, but there's something going on in the background. But my point is, they were running out of steam and juice. And eventually, if we would have stayed this week in the 70s, we were going down, down, baby, low street in the Range Rover. Shout out to 607. Shout out to my mom. So here's the deal. We were going down. So I think that was one of the reasons Trump did it, was to try to pump the market back up. And with that being said, that was already my thought yesterday. To see this article come out today about BlackRock adding the Bitcoin ETF to their $150 billion model portfolio product means two things. The Bitcoin ETFs have now officially matured, where they're saying, hey, we're not going to keep you in our small, I'm not sure what it was at first, but let's just say it was in $50 billion portfolio. We're going to take you out of that 50 billion. We were doing 1 or 2% of 50 billion. We're going to stop that. That was a test run for a year. It worked. Proof of concept is here. Now we're going to do 1 to 2% of 150 billion. So essentially what we just saw happen last year to this year is about to happen again, except now they're about to do the same type of revolving door, but with more. So everything we just saw as far as ETF deposit withdrawals, expect those records to be crushed here in the next few months, right? Expect it to be even bigger ETF amounts, withdrawals and deposits. That is going to shake the market when it starts to withdraw. It is going to be super volatile. I think it's going to be larger than what we saw, this 12%. I think that's why they're trying to slow roll it so they can kind of get people used to it. But what they control, what, 12 to 15%? I said they're about to possibly control 18%, 16 to 18, 17, 16, 17% of the market once this goes through. But also, it's telling me something was running out in the background. Why did you switch why did you increase the portfolio size, and why did you switch unless it was a part of your internal roadmap? At the same time, the president says we're doing this crypto reserve. Folks, something is going on in the background. I think it's them trying to prop the price of all crypto right now. It's that simple. We're due for a retracement. I mean, technically, we just got it at 78,108 back to 78. Technically, that was a pretty good retracement. Way more squeeze to go, as far as way more pain to go of that. But I think this was a concerted effort by BlackRock, by President Trump and his administration, as well as some of these crypto CEOs, where they realize, hey, brother, this thing's about to go down fast. You don't understand how fast this can happen. And when that 70 something hit, I think they started realizing how fast it can happen. Because you remember, these institutions do not have diamond hands, folks, and nor should they. You're talking about the fighters of America's portfolio. That was at 108,000. Brother, that's at 78,000. We need to have a conversation right now. Okay. So here's my thing. This can only happen so many more times. Right now, they did just switch to a bigger portfolio. So again, the bubble continues to form. We get bigger. We're talking Bitcoin reserve. That's on the sheets. I'm sure we'll get word back from Congress. They're moving pretty fast. So I give it 4 to 6 weeks before we hear something back, possibly even 3 weeks. But the bottom line is this: have officially started blowing this bubble up. This is, folks, is not, this is, there's no value in a lot of what I'm saying right now. There's no value to go from a smaller BlackRock portfolio to a larger BlackRock portfolio. They didn't do anything. I just said this other day. They didn't create anything. They're just taking capital from their environmental fund, or technology, whatever fund, and they're just rebalancing it or pivoting it over to Bitcoin and crypto. And then once they're ready to make some trades, they're just doing it right out. So again, something's going on in the background. It's probably quarterly balance sheets, because it is March. So they're about to gear up to get ready for the end of the quarter. You got to get balance sheets to the government. You got to do calls with your investors and things as a source. So maybe it's a quarterly thing. I just need to kind of find those trends on it. But bottom line is, something is happening in the background, and that something is called manipulation. They're doing their best to keep the price pricing. But I'm telling you, you can only do it for so long in this market. You can only do it for so long. Okay, last but not least, I know some of you, wait, I'm skipping a story. I'm skipping a story. How did I delete the one story? Y'all know I got 2 stories left. And the only reason I know for sure, because I got to talk about y'all crazy hexicans. Oh, man. Where's the story? I have this story. I somehow deleted it. Let me find this story real quick. Oh, my goodness. Hex is in the news. The SEC drops the lawsuit against Hex. There we go. I'm like, how did I delete this story? Uh, I know why most of you saw Hex and you saw Solana, so you guys joined today. All right, here we go. U.S. judge tosses SEC fraud suit against founder Richard Hart. Woo! All right. First things first, I want to repeat what I've already said. This is the Wild West of crypto. Go crazy, create what you want, do what you want. No excuses. Second thing is, never thought I'd say this. If it's going to be like this, like for real, if we're giving Carolyn, whatever her name is, 2 years of prison time for $50 billion of damages, if people aren't even going to jail and just getting fined, and if you're tossing out fraud suits against Richard Hart, hey, I don't know what it's going to be yet. In the next 2 to 4 years, folks, I might launch a coin. Strong chance I might launch a coin. I just saw Ronaldo launch a coin today that went 400 million up. And apparently he has 20% of the coin. And his team has 16%, 36% of the coin. Boom, that quick, gone. It is what it is. Okay. I'm not going to fight the market. If this is what it is, folks, we're launching coins over here at the TGOC. We're launching coins moving forward here at TG. On the series, no, actually on plan. So I told you I've been doing some research on some fun meme ones for you all. And I want the Warriors to be involved in all these projects too. This isn't the King project. This is the Crypto Warriors project. So more to come on that, but it is official. I'm not sure what's going to happen to overseas. You remember he got the red notice, the EU and all these folks want him. That's something totally different from the United States. But the United States has officially made his ruling, and they saying, hey, if that's the case, y'all got free Roger Ver. Honestly, if the fraud suit against Richard Hart is getting thrown out, you have to free Roger Ver to keep it real. Like, it is what it is. And is it something on that Polymarket betting platform? What's the over under on Roger Ver being freed? The U.S. judge tossed the SEC's case against Hex founder Richard Hart, stating it couldn't decide whether he defrauded investors of $12.1 million because of the U.S. lacked jurisdiction. There it is. It's official. U.S. doesn't have jurisdiction. First of all, and second of all, I wouldn't even say, to keep it real, I wouldn't even say Richard Hart defrauded people. I want to be clear on my stance on this. Richard Hart, do you see his audience? He didn't defraud nobody. They want it. That's like telling a cult member or a cult leader he kidnapped his members. It's like, bro, you telling a pimp he's trafficking. No, none of this is true. Okay. OnlyFans shows you that wasn't true, and more cults shows you that that wasn't true. Some people want to be in a cult. Some people want to sell that thing. All right. It is what it is. Stop trying to make people do what you feel you want them to do. Okay. The bottom line is this. I agree that Richard Hart did not defraud people. If you were to look at him as a cult leader, he had willing members. He ain't, hey, he's selling whatever he's selling. They want to buy whatever they want to buy. We've had Hexicans on the show live. I'm telling them X, I'm telling them Y, Z, the old business partner telling them things. They're still like, we don't care. We like this. We like him. We rolling with it. I am not mad. Shout out for supporting your guy. It looks like the U.S. won't be keeping him in jail. Another country might. But again, to me, I am not fighting the market. It's too much energy and there's no reward. I'm not fighting the market anymore. The market has decided. The United States has decided as well. And it looks like, hey, he's free to go. And like I said, if he's free to go, then oh my. Let the fun begin, folks. Let the fun begin this year and next year in this cryptoverse. A district court judge, and like I said, this is the district court. I keep telling you, all you need is one judge in one small town to agree or disagree, and it can set precedent not only for the entire country, but possibly for the entire planet when you look at the U.S.'s arm of enforcement. But a district judge has dismissed the U.S. securities regulator lawsuit accusing Hex founder Richard Hart of raising over $1 billion through unregistered crypto offerings and defrauding investors of $12.1 million. Oh, shout out to Richard. There's no, I'll say this. Maybe some of my Ned Flanders out there, but by and large, there's no sane capitalist out there who's going to say, hey, here's the deal. You can do $1 billion in revenue and probably take most of that in profit, but you might possibly you might possibly get fined and maybe some jail time. And that's a big possibility. And then you research and you see cases like this was like, no, they throwing that out. What? You got to take the bet. You literally have to take the bet. You have to take the bet. Who doesn't take that bet? Okay. My man raised over $1 billion. They claim he defrauded 12.1 million, which is such a small number out of $1 billion, to be real. And the government said, hey, not our problem. The United States has spoken. That we not enforcing shit no more. Good luck. Y'all say y'all wanted good luck. Good luck is what the U.S. is doing. Thank you. You know what? That's what freedom should look like. Freedom should be the freedom to make dumbass choices or the freedom to make smart choices. And the United States is saying, fine. Y'all wanted y'all crypto freedom. Y'all want us to lay off a little less regulation. You are officially getting it. Shout out to Richard Hart and the Hexicans, man. You can't look. And again, for me, it's not about Hex or Richard Hart as much as it is. I can't talk. It is about the overall crypto industry. This is a win for the crypto industry because once again, it's setting major precedent. You not going after this? Oh, you ain't going after nothing. You better not say nothing to me. Don't you say to me. Right now, there's only one group in the United States with enforcement action over everyone. And I think they're about to get a death blow here soon because he's already started working the body. And that's the IRS. Literally, the IRS is the last enforcement agency in the United States still pressing the crypto issue. How much did you buy? What's going on? Tax returns are out. I'm assuming they got the box at the top, right? That's the last enforcement agency. What's the over under on that? Do you all really think the IRS is going to make it out of these 4 years? Not saying it's going to disappear, but it will not look the IRS is not going to look the same in 2028, people. I want you to know that. So once again, you do what you need to do. You consult your tax professionals. But once again, you're insane right now if you think the IRS is going to operate in the crypto industry as it already has without any guidance that they've been getting or any guidance they've given to us outside of you're going to do what we say. The IRS extortion, I think, will be coming to a stop. I give him this year because he just got in office. Next year, tax time, I think it's going to be totally different, folks. Mark my words, clip it. IRS is next. They're the last one in the United States. The SEC done got their nuts clipped, folks. So did the CFTC. What boy say on the town? I'm gonna clip your nuts like I did your daddy. All right, you ain't nothing. All right, they already did the SEC, or they did the CFTC like they did their daddy, the SEC. You think the IRS is gonna walk around here swinging and hanging and banging? No, man. US about to turn them upside down and clip them things too. They stuff straight up. Listen, bottom line is Trump just did $1 billion in meme coins, folks. The IRS doesn't survive 4 years the same way. Okay, bottom line. Getting back to this judge, Carol Bagley Ammon said those alleged deceptive acts, we're talking Richard Hart's stuff, couldn't be decided on as the Securities and Exchange Commission failed to establish that the U.S. had jurisdiction over Hart's crypto activities, which she said were global in scope and not specifically targeted at U.S. investors. All right, so this is what really happened. Shout out to Richard Hart, because I actually know what really happened just from reading that. Richard Hart paid to play. Richard, you paid to play. People, I'm not going to say he did it for this judge, because that would be saying that this judge took a bribe or whatever, right? I am not going to say it happened for this judge or any judge. Maybe it did, maybe it did not. But someone got paid, and here's why. When in your entire life, I want to make sure I'm not even talking about this year. When in all of you, so we got life spent. How much life do we have in this warrior chat? 135 people watching now. By the time the podcast goes out, another couple of thousand. So, with all this life we have, when have any of our lives have we seen the United States government say, "Oh, we're not going to come after you over there because we don't have jurisdiction"? I can't even say without laughing. Listen, we went in another country's backyard and kidnapped and killed someone. I'm looking at you, Osama bin Laden. I'm looking at you, Saddam Hussein. Like, we literally go into other countries' backyard with their military, government, police in broad daylight sometime and get active. Straight face, too. No problem. So what? Press conference. Trump just had a president of another country with his arms crossing the chair. I'm about to mess up my mic. I'm so high. My bad. I smack. Let me know if you can't hear me. Trump just had another grown man, a president of another country they call a dictator, sitting with his arm crossed, telling him, "Don't you tell us how the U.S. need to feel. We know what we feel. You don't tell us what we need to feel." This same country all of a sudden doesn't have jurisdiction to go after a private citizen. Are we done with the bullshit now? Like, I'm supposed to be 30 minutes. I'm about at 50 minutes. Are we done with the BS? All right, we're done. Clearly, he paid. All right, he paid somebody, and shout out to him. You better. I keep telling you, you better pay to play. Stop. This real gangsters over here. He did pay, and this is how. Like, I did PR, people. I did PR. And here's the deal too. And this is how I know for a fact too. The United States doesn't use this language in our media and public relations. We never use the language of we cannot do something, right? So for military, for example, you'll never, or you should never hear anyone in the military, especially an officer or a high-ranking enlisted person, saying ready, talking about readiness. We're always ready for any fight, any war, anywhere. Like, we're always ready. That is always the messaging. There will never be, again, any officer who know what the hell they talking about, or high-ranking enlisted person saying anything about the military not being ready. We are always ready. That is the messaging. That is who we are. That goes along with the United States government. Nothing's never out of our jurisdiction. We're never not like, that's not the messaging. So I don't even know how they got this messaging out publicly to say that this guy is out of our jurisdiction, because it does push precedence to people like me telling the world to say, hey, if they can't get him, you can do the same thing. Clearly, they can't get you. Plus, how can you say you can't get him, but you could get Roger Ver? Once again, he paid to play. I'm not mad. That was a smart thing to do, Richard. I'm glad you paid. Okay. The alleged misappropriation occurred through digital wallets and crypto asset platforms, none of which were alleged to have any connection with the United States. These are the same people who just took Binance for $4.6 billion, saying that American customers were on Binance when Binance was a global platform. All right. I don't need to get more into the story. You get it. Shout out to Richard Hart. He even mentioned the judge by name. Yeah, like I said, shout out to Richard Hart, shout out to THORChain. Paid to play happened in the background. It's that simple, folks. Somebody was paid. All of a sudden, the United States can get Binance for $4.6 billion. We got McAfee off the boat in the middle of the freaking ocean somewhere because he was tweeting about altcoins and shit coins. We got FTX folks out the Bahamas. We got Roger Ver traveling through Spain. We got the Alexander Finnick, the Russian. We got him bouncing around through different countries, but we can't get Richard Hart. Womp womp. My thing is like, that's why I keep saying, gang, stop lying to me, gang. Just be real. I get it. You can tell me the real. All right. Like, you could say, hey, he had $1 billion. He gave us some of it. You don't need to know how much. Time moves on. And I'll say, cool. It's not even a story, folks. Richard Hart gave a lot of money. Time moves on. We'll accept it. We're adults. But this whole, oh, well, we don't have jurisdiction over this guy. Oh, that's what we're doing today. We don't have jurisdiction over one human all of a sudden. All right, all right, all right. Last but not least, great news story to end it on, for some of you at least. The bubble continues to get larger. The story is the headline itself. Chicago Mercantile Exchange Group to launch Solana futures on March 17th. That is right. Chicago Mercantile Exchange. You remember them and SIBO back in 2018 when they first launched the Bitcoin futures. They were saying, hey, we're going to tame this market. And Bitcoin went from 18, 19,000 to 14 to 12,000 within about 6 to 8 weeks. They tamed the shit out the market. So I'm not sure what's going to do this time. You know, initially they actually wanted to tame the market. They wanted to slow the growth down. Whereas now they want that growth. They want the hyperbolic growth. They want to pump everything. So I don't think futures would be trying to slow the market down this time. But we'll see what happens. We don't know. We'll see. This is the first. We're talking altcoin futures, but it's official. If Solana gets theirs, and like I said, folks, if Solana gets theirs, Cardinal, everybody who's in the Bitcoin Reserve has to have a future in the ETF. Period. Like, how could you not? So that's new derivatives right there. And then, like I said, if you're Dogecoin, Dogwood, if Pepe, Fart, Stripper, whatever coin, why not me? How them? Is it, if it's a market cap thing, we can get there. So this is the future. Shout out to Solana. They're about to make some moves. Shout out to those crypto assets. Shout out to the entire industry, right? We are moving forward. This is what mass adoption looks like. We are maturing, but like I said, the bubble has officially formed. Do what you need to do to get your capital up, to get your, hey, go work at 7-Eleven right now, all right? Or just create projects. It don't matter. Copy projects. Do whatever you want. They don't care right now. Go crazy is the bottom line. But this is the greatest time officially in Bitcoin and crypto history. Like, I'm this year so far, folks, these last 2 to 3 months, I mean, you can get away with it. So go crazy, get away with it. I'm not telling you to do anything negative, but I am telling you to do something positive. When we were worried about creating new things because we didn't have a license here or a compliance department here or regulatory guidance there, now they're saying you don't need any of it. As long as you're not doing fraud. You got to remember, that was the one thing they've all said, which I agree with. They said we're only enforcing and going after people who are doing fraud. This is the way it should have been. That means if you're trying your best to create a good project and it just happens to get hacked or scammed or something goes wrong, they're not coming after you the same way. Hell, if you make $1 billion, right? They're not coming after you like they did with the ICOs and everything. But if you're making a bad project and you're intentionally trying to defraud and scam and everything else, then they are coming after you, which I do agree with and I do support. So again, shout out to the government. And yeah, I mean, we are clicking and ticking. Last few comments, and I'll call it a day. So Kareem, I did see that. For those who saw it, it was an old interview, actually. I think it was an old interview that Zay did that they just pushed out recently, but it was an old interview. But yeah, I reached out to them already and left a comment. Look, folks, again, the story will be coming out here very, very soon. I'm just getting the last few things in order. But the bottom line is Zay is doing like illegal business. I won't even say bad. He's doing terrible, bad, illegal, scamming, everything negative under the crypto sun. I don't know how he got there either. It was no reason to get there, honestly. The guy was making plenty of money per month. I know that for a fact. But yes, he got there. He's been here long enough to turn to the bad guy. So again, I'm not doing business with him. You all can have your own thoughts on it. I don't even like talking about people who are out of my bailiwick. You do what you want. You feel how you want. You do your own homework or whatever. I'll add more to this soon, but I am telling you, and it's not just me. It is a lot of people who look like me and you as well. So feel how you want, but it is what it is. Like I'm trying to tell you, ain't no other way to cut this. You're gonna be when I tell you the full thing, your jaw's gonna drop. You're just gonna be like, no, no, no. I kept saying no too. I said no for about 2 to 3 years. Really, if you look at everything that's been going on in the show the last 2 or 3 years, it would make sense. I didn't want to believe it for about 2 to 3 years myself. And because I didn't want to believe it for the last 2 to 3 years, a lot more people became victims and were damaged. So, no, I am fully believing what I've seen, all the evidence I've seen, the things people brought to me, stuff I know for a fact myself. Yeah, Zay stole money from me, people. Okay, like I'm trying to tell you, he's wild, right? Hey, anything he can get his hands on, and I'll add this last thing to it. A lot of the some of these scammers, the scammer TGOC scam accounts are actually him. Not bullshitting you. So yeah, that's a whole different show. I gotta go. Ain't no shots fired. The truth is being spoken. That's all it is. I've invited him to come, on live. I'm always live, people. I'm everybody know me in every city I've been. I'm very transparent. You know my address. Pull up when you want. This is who I am. I am an honest person. I don't lie. I'm transparent. So yes, I invite him to Discord. If you all remember when this first came up, I added him while he was still in the Discord. Feel free to bring him on the show if anybody get in touch with him. But when I release everything, it will make sense. I'm not lying. I hate that it happened like this, but it is what it is. All right. Other than that, smash that like and share. And I see you all tomorrow with some more news. Cheers.